If you're here, you're interested in cyber, and to me, it's our jobs collectively to go out and convince people why they need it, because they do need it. They don't know they need it, and they don't understand they need it, and even when you tell them, they think you're looking for a commission, but they really do need it.
INSUREtrust launched its first product in April of '97 in cyber, and what our investors asked was, is the internet going to be around? And that was the kind of question we had to answer. And then it was, well, you don't have any competitors, so there must not be a market. And then it was, there's too many competitors. What are you going to do about that? So, and I see some of the guys in the audience who were with us back in those days. Those were kind of Wild West days. But fortunately, people are buying now, and it's a great market. Max, have you all ever paid a breach notification loss?
We've paid many. It kind of depends on your industry space and where you have most of your insureds. For example, healthcare. Because of high tech and HIPAA, healthcare is an industry that's very aware of what they need to do when a breach occurs. They're very aware of what a breach is because they've been dealing with it since the early 90s. I think that's part of what you think about in that industry. But it's not alone, and several others have had big breaches.
Notification is pretty much a given. On every event that's reported to us, there's someone that has to be notified. And then, as has been said, it depends how you handle it. If the goal is to minimize it as quickly as possible. Work with these people whose information has been breached, so that they're not going to be coming after the insured. Yeah, we get lawsuits too, unfortunately, but that's why we're selling the insurance. It's going to be expensive if you per record. If you lose $1 million, or if you lose 100,000 or 10,000, the cost is going to come down per record considerably.
The point that about per record cost is, of course, right. It's nonsense. It's complete nonsense to base anything on per record breach costs, because in a small breach, the per record costs are high, as was said.
This is the #1 issue right now, is notification costs. That's the first thing people are focused on. A lot of the carriers, in addition to getting an application form, are starting to ask for a breakdown of your data files or your identity files. And then they want to know possibly how many of those files are at rest, how many of those files are being transmitted, whether they're encrypted or not encrypted. As a broker, I find it very difficult for my clients to come up with a number. And so one of my responses when I get asked that from an underwriter, I usually say, well, you go first. Tell me how many files you have as a company. How many, do you keep all your former employees' files, all your former client files? Do you have a way of categorizing and cataloging these things? And they don't. So in most cases, the best thing your client can do is to give an estimate. It sounds like we're all relying on the same data.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you're interpreting it pretty much the same way we are, that not all of this will be covered by insurance. And
right, absolutely. I mean, these aren't all insurable costs. We're really looking at the hard financial damages that are associated with it. So that's what we look at when we calculate on a per record basis, how much coverage is needed and how much exposure there is on any given account.
I think it all comes down to one basic concept, and that's that our insureds want to be in business at the end of the day. When that security event, if it then turns breach, then turns notification and goes public, if it has to happen, how are you going to be in business at the end of the day so that that doesn't impact you financially?